Milwaukee 8 Road Glide. Very comfortable riding position. I can feel it right now without even moving. Very intimidating bike as a rider. Yeah, the dash looks massive. It really does look huge. Yeah, very nice, very smooth. This bike's got the stock pipes on it, so I can barely hear it. All I can hear is the Sporty in front of me. Wow, what a smooth bike. Someone told me once that this is the heaviest bike that Harley makes. I don't know how accurate that is. I feel like I'm riding a heavy bike. Yeah, I feel like I'm riding a heavy bike. It's so quiet. I'm trying to remember where these blokes turn now. Very comfortable riding position. This is set up perfect for me. Handlebars. All I need is one of those little backrests. And oh, I reckon I could go all day comfortably. Don't do it. I really feel like I'm riding a really big, heavy bike. There's no throwing this around. Not for me anyway, not with someone with my standard of riding. It's well balanced though, like, it wants to stay upright, that's for sure. This is nice. I don't know how this would go. I don't know how you'd go riding this around town in the city. Whoop, that's not neutral. That was second. That's neutral. I've heard a lot of talk about you can't read the digital screen that well on a road glide. I can see it well, and I believe if you hold this toggle switch in, no, I've seen someone say if you hold the toggle switch in, it was the information button you got to hold down. Whoa. Let me hold the information button down to see what happens. Yes, there you go, look at that. That's a lot easier to read. That's a lot easier to read. With the white, it probably doesn't look as cool with the white background and the black writing. I have the sun coming from sort of my rear right, shining onto the instrument cluster, and I can read that clearly. No dramas at all, I can read that. Very comfortable riding position. Brakes are good for a big bike. I'm finding the throttle very touchy. very touchy I'm finding the throttle. Like it's just the slightest movement and it's off, it's jerky, it wants to go. So, I mean, that's something you'd just get used to anyway. But, these all open somehow, don't they? I think these open, but somehow, I don't know how. Buffeting. I can feel a little bit of buffeting on my helmet. Would that be an issue on the freeway? It's not severe. I can feel it's only just getting me. I reckon if that shield was an inch taller, I wouldn't be getting any buffeting. But of course, there's aftermarket shields, and you could rectify that. Although, with my eye level is about 3 inches above the top of that shield. So I don't know that I'd want to put a taller shield on this for someone my height, 5'9". I love this colour, it's sensational. Looks dope. It's unbelievable. You know, it's torquey, like definitely torquey. Used to be a great bike to tour on. It really would be. Let's summarise this bike. Okay, looks is always open to interpretation. It's just depends on the rider, depends on the person. I give this bike a tick for looks. I think it looks great. I love the paint scheme. I love the dropped bags or extended bags. I love the black rims. I don't know what they call those rims, but they look really, really cool. So the bike looks sensational, I reckon. Handling? Well, look, I haven't ridden it that much for handling, but this is a big bike. You know, I mean, you can ride it through the twisties, but remember, I mean, it's well balanced. You can ride this thing through the twisties, but you know, you've got to be realistic about what you're riding, because it wouldn't be hard, I don't think, to start scraping your floorboards. And you know, do you really want to do that? These things aren't cheap. Parts on these things aren't cheap, so you know, do you really want to be scraping floorboards on a bagger? I don't know. Some people would. I wouldn't. That's not me. Could I travel interstate on this? Could I sit on this and travel 1,000 kilometres in a day? I gotta say, it's a yes. If someone said to me, I need you to ride 1,000 kilometres for me, and I'm going to pay you to do it, and I'm going to supply you a 2018 Road Glide Special, I'd say, yeah, that'll do me just fine. Just fine. Yeah, brakes are good for a big bike. I don't feel like, I'm having to stand on them. It's a little bit getting used to this clutch though. The clutch is, I'm almost having to fully extend the clutch before it engages. But that's something you get used to after miles of riding. I should see if I can get this sound system going. Whoop, media tuner off. Media tuner off. Where's the volume? Where's the volume? Come on, man, you'd think you'd have a button that says volume. Information. Torque. listening. That's a home... Oh, hang on, no. What if I press that sideways? What does that do? No, that's changing the station. I don't want to do that. I don't want to change the station. Okay, I'm going to change the volume. Oh, I think that's it. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, well that, I don't want to get copyrighted for the music. Well, I can hear a bit of buffeting on the top of my helmet, so I had that radio well over halfway and I could hear there was music coming out. I couldn't tell you what that song was. I couldn't understand the things she was saying because it was a mixture of buffeting, wind buffeting noise on the top of my helmet and some form of music coming out of the speakers. So maybe around town that'd be okay, you know, sort of 60 kilometres an hour. But at say 100 kilometres an hour, 110, 120, don't know whether those speakers are going to cut it. To be honest, I don't think they're going to cut it. I think I'd have to have this thing really cranking. The speakers really cranking, and then even then it's, you know, I'd have a lot of wind noise and... Yeah, I don't know about that, to be honest. My gut feel says they ain't going to do it. They're not going to perform to the level that I'd want them to. Perhaps you just need to stick to your Cena and your wired up helmet. Oh yeah, look at that. It gets up and boogies if you want it to. I've had no dramas reading this this touchscreen. That's one of the things I was really intrigued about was the touchscreen, because I've heard so many comments. Oh, road guides are no good because the touchscreen is useless because you can't see it. Get sun glare on it, you can't read a thing it says, and it's too far to touch, and you can't reach out and hit the buttons. Well, yeah, no, I can reach that, but why would you? You know, you got all the buttons on the steering wheel. Oh, the steering wheel. You got all the buttons on the handlebars. So once you're confident and understand what all the controls are, there's really no need to touch the screen anyway. And I can read it as clear as day. I'm not having to struggle. Nothing. You know what this bike does? For me anyway. This bike calms you down. I've just got off a Fat Bob 114 and I've got onto this bike and it's had a calming influence on me. It's like just ride and just enjoy the sights, the scenery, the day. That's the calming effect that this bike's having on me. I reckon I could jump on this bike and just cruise around, enjoy the sights, not feel like terrorising anyone. I would definitely have to put some slip-ons on because I can't hear it. All I can hear is the Sporty. I think it's a 48 in front of me, that's all I can hear. The handlebars for myself is just perfect. Perfect. They've got me in that perfect seating position that I like anyway. Like, I'm not hunched over slightly, you know, because this bike's designed to ride, well, I would have thought they'd designed this bike to ride at long distances, and You know, even if you're just slightly hunched over, for me personally, after an hour or so, hour and a half, you start to feel it at the back of the shoulders, where this bike here, that will not be an issue at all. Not an issue. I'd love to go to the States and hire one of these and take it for a cruise, like, you know, a good nice trip for a couple of weeks, even a month. Great. It's just that type of bike. Man, that Sporty in front is loud. Definitely, it feels well balanced, this bike. Like, for a big heavy tourer, it feels, you know, like relatively nimble within reason. Slow riding. Yep, slow riding. Not an issue, slow riding. Yeah, it's very good slow riding. It's very well balanced. I'll tell you what I can start to feel. I can start to feel a bit of heat around my ankles. Does that make sense? Does that sound right? No, surely not. Maybe it's the sun. I like this bike. I could own one of these bikes. Definitely, I could own one of these bikes. Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. Let's get away from that Sporty. It's too noisy. Yeah, I like this bike, I really like it. I really like this bike. Gear changing's very smooth, very smooth. I'm not using the heel shifter. Yeah, I don't know, it's just a habit. Bike I have doesn't have a heel shifter, so I guess I'm just not used to using it. Tell you what, I've struggled to find neutral a bit on this bike. And green is go. Yeah, I'm starting to get used to that clutch. I tell you what, lane filtering and lane splitting. Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting on this bike. Very interesting. Oh, I can hear, now that I'm not near that Sporty, I can actually hear it. Yeah, this is a good bike. This is a good bike. good looking bike, comfortable bike, handles well for its size. I don't know what it weighs. It's got to be bloody heavy though. Well, overall guys, Road Glide Special, very impressed, very impressed. It's definitely a bike I'd own, and I personally think it's a good looking bike as well. That's my opinion. Neutral, got it. Side stand. Get down, see? And off. And off. Very impressed. This is a bike I've been so keen to ride. I think they look great, and I love this colour white. I think if I was to buy one, this is definitely the colour I'd get. What do they call it? They call it... Oh, it's got some weird name. And I love the specials. Specials are all blacked out. Love it. .107 Milwaukee 8.